Brooklyn Independent Television.
New York's bridges are all things to all people. An interactive card for tourists, an open-air gym for athletes, and the route home after a long day. Now, the Brooklyn Bridge and the other East River crossings are getting a safety makeover. Brian Vines has the story.
With the median commute clocking in at just under 40 minutes, gridlock is a fact of life in New York City. With all this traffic, you may be surprised to learn that the 2010 census results found a 1% drop in the number of New Yorkers driving to work, while those walking and using mass transit has been steadily rising since 2006, from 54 to 55%. All of these percentages seem abstract, but here at the Brooklyn Bridge is where the rubber meets the road.
I mean, I would encourage everybody to walk. I've been doing it for like 10 years. I walk year-round, snow, rain, so I love it.
But with Gregory and so many other commuters ditching their cars in favor of people power, it's getting pretty crowded on the East River bridges, and some accidents are bound to happen.
I've never been run into by a bicyclist, but they are definitely aggressive in staking their claim, I would say, because the walkway is so dense with pedestrians. There's no real space for runners, so a lot of times you have to veer into the bike lane, and they're not happy about that.
Cyclists may be annoyed. The city's Department of Transportation is concerned with the safety of both bikers and pedestrians. In fact, a new law that mandates keeping count of bicycle accidents will go into effect October 1st. The city's last bicycle accident survey was from 1996 to 2005, and during that period, 11 pedestrians died as a result of crashes with cyclists. From 1996 until 2003, 12,412 non-fatal accidents occurred between bikers and pedestrians. And that number doesn't even take into account all of the near misses.
I just had a runner who was in the pedestrian side, but then was full of pedestrians, and so without looking, with her headphones on, she veered into my lane, and it was when I was coming down fast, and it was kind of scary. It really almost collided, and I said, "You just have to look," and she flipped me off, so.
The city has come up with a plan to keep bridge crossers safe, and it begins with the guys in the neon vests. Stationed on the Brooklyn, Manhattan, and Williamsburg bridges, they're called Pedestrian Traffic Managers. And for $38 an hour, they keep the peace by helping bridge crossers maintain their lane.
And this is paid for by the city?
Hired through a private firm contracted by the city, they're not municipal workers and cannot issue tickets or physically interfere with bridge crossers.
It seems a little bit ridiculous. I think people could probably monitor themselves. I'm not sure that would help that much.
The Department of Transportation maintains that the managers are an added layer of protection for commuters, as all three bridges are currently under construction. So in addition to signage, pictographs, and common sense, the pedestrian traffic managers are here to keep New Yorkers safe. But that logic doesn't add up with everyone. Teek is from the Netherlands, where there's millions of bikers, but no pedestrian traffic managers.
It's probably good to keep the employment a little up, but it's better to have a barrier of some kind so that you really physically separate the pedestrians and the cyclists.
Carolyn Sampanero is the director of bicycle advocacy for Transportation Alternatives, a nonprofit organization dedicated to creating safer streets.
In the long term, what we're dealing with is, as a city, we're moving away from private automobile use and towards more sustainable transportation solutions. So, for example, the Brooklyn Bridge, where we are now, that bike and pedestrian path cannot accommodate the number of people that want to cross the bridge on foot or on bike. So, and in the long term, we're talking about, maybe rethinking the way that the car lanes are used so that bikes can also travel on the roadway. There's probably a number of different solutions, but I think that in the short term, this is a nice temporary solution.
Though they could not speak to us on camera, The managers told us they were working rain or shine until 7 p.m. and had been well received by New Yorkers and tourists alike. But with less than a week on the job, they still have a ways to go. Mi amigo nuevo, Miguel, is a Brooklynite by way of Ecuador, and now he's on the path to maintaining his lane.
So this side is for bikes, this side is for people. Are you going to stay on this side? Now you're going to walk on the right side?
Okay. I walking now on this side. You call me.
Okay.
Okay.
At the price of $80,000 a month, the pilot program will run through November and be reviewed before it's revived in the spring. But this one's on me, guys. For Brooklyn Review, I'm Brian Vines.
Download this program's podcast on iTunes. Keywords Brooklyn Independent Television.